right, guys. Without that being said, man, let's bring in the legend here, man, Troy Franklin. Let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Yo, 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 Troy, man. We're live here. What's up, man? There he is. There he is. How you doing, Troy? Let me get you unmuted here real quick. And here, one second, one second. Or here, are you able to unmute yourself or what's going on? The mic went out. Are you muted?
You hear me?
Oh, here. Do it again. Do it again.
Can you hear me
All right.
now?
Bam, there we are. Now we got you. All right, my
All
bad,
right,
bro.
good.
Sorry about that. All right, yep, we're live. We're live. Here we are, man. We got Troy Franklin in the building, the one, the only, man. How's it been, man? Welcome on to the show. How's life been? How's life just been treating you, man? First and foremost.
Well, thanks for having me. Obviously, life's been treating me pretty well. Blessed. Obviously, but yeah, things been going good, man. I'm in the off season right now. I'm about to start up in a couple of days, but yeah, I've had a good little off season.
100%, man. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time for coming on, man. We're all big fans of you here at Duck Nation, so really appreciate you taking the time, man, to come on and just update you about your life, go over your Oregon career and stuff like that. It's gonna be fun. So, what's been your biggest focus, heading into this upcoming NFL season? I know you got a big season coming up. So, what's big your personal biggest focus this off season for you?
Obviously, I wanted to just put on a little bit of weight. I think our team, is very solid, and um, in the offseason, we don't really got to do too much, So I just like to, go in there and, make sure I'm working around, on my all around game, man. So, I like to start with my breaks. Obviously keep my hands in track, catching the ball, um, releases, my pad level, things like that, and then obviously just working out in the weight room, running sprints, all that good stuff. So that's kind of just the main thing, just trying to maintain my body, make sure I'm obviously getting stronger, being able to, withstand the whole season because we could play a long season, 17 games, and then plus playoffs. So yeah, I think that's, just kind of the main thing I wanted to make sure I was working on in the off season. I think my ability is, football is football. It'll obviously like, all handle itself on the field, but for the most part, that's pretty much it though.
100%, man. Yeah, getting you guys heard it here first, man. Troy Franklin's out here working, getting better, and getting beefy at the same time. You heard me? Let's
Yeah,
go.
you know, gotta
100%.
keep the speed, but definitely
Yeah,
just gonna just get stronger, put on a little bit more for sure. So yeah.
love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. What's life like been like since you've had some time to settle into the NFL now? Is it, are you kind of more accustomed to it now? You're kind of been there for a couple years
Oh
now?
yeah, for sure. It's way different. My rookie year, it was kind of just the unknown. I went into every week kind of just thinking how it would be. Obviously like just new environment, the transition and stuff. But now, obviously in my third year, going into my third year, so I know the ins and outs. I know the people in the building. I know everybody on the team. And I'm just more comfortable now. I know the playbook. I know the field. The field's different, so that's something I had to learn. It's just a learning process for sure, but I'm way more comfortable now, so I don't really go out there thinking too much.
Love it, man. Love it, man. Let's take it back now a little bit to high school, right? Your recruiting process with Oregon as well. What was the
Mhm.
recruiting process like for you? Your whole recruiting process, like not just specifically for Oregon, but just your whole recruiting
Yeah,
process. What was that like for you?
it was pretty cool because getting into high school, I really didn't. This might sound slow, but I really didn't understand how people got to
All good,
college.
for sure.
Specifically just like athletes. So I'm just playing sports. I'm good. Blah blah. Get to high school, and you know, I'm obviously tall and everything. I got good skills, and I'm a freshman on varsity. My first 4 weeks, I'm obviously playing pretty good. Have a couple crazy games, and then by like week 4, I got my first offer from San Jose State, um, by Coach Fred Gudici. I think that's his name. And he offered me up, and that's kind of that the offer that got the ball rolling. Obviously, first one, all that good stuff, and from then on, they all started rolling in.
Love it, man. Love to hear it. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, man. So when did you realize like Oregon was the school that you really wanted to attend? When because you got all these schools, I knew you were, a highly talented recruit.
Yeah.
When did all these schools coming in? What separated Oregon there?
Um, One, they've been my dream school since I was a young kid. I've always loved Anthony Thomas. So that was a really big thing for me. He got drafted, went to the NFL, all that good stuff. They were close to home, also. Best team in the Pac-12 at the time, or in the Pac-12 since there's no more Pac-12. Um, but yeah, so all that stuff factoring in, and then I really also wanted to go to Oregon just because at the time around like 2021, 2020, they were still more on the RPO offense and kind of, just running the ball. And I wanted to kind of go there and like be one of the receivers to kind of start like just kind of the transition over to just the passing game and just opening it up and knowing that like Oregon can produce receivers and stuff like that. So um those are kind of like really the main reasons why I picked Oregon.
Yeah, I love it, man. I
And
mean,
okay, also
yeah, yeah.
also um I was kind of in a COVID class with being in 2021. So when in my recruitment process, I couldn't really take visits to any other school. And before COVID, I got to visit, certain places and things like that. And those were obviously all like Pac-12 schools because those were close to home. But yeah, that's kind of what fucked up my recruitment a little bit too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
100%. Yeah, COVID was tough to go through. You mentioned like
yeah,
believing in Oregon and, saying they can develop wide receivers. And that's a big statement to say because Oregon, I love Oregon. I'm a Duck fan myself, but in the NFL, there at the time there wasn't a lot of Oregon wide receivers really coming out yet. So when you
yeah,
took that
exactly.
step, what coach or what relationship, did you really believe in? What would you commit to? Because I know the coaching staff's, a big thing to look forward to when you're developing recruiting relationships. Which coach really stood out to you, and what made you have that belief that you can really develop Oregon into what they are now today?
Man, obviously Brian McClendon, he's the receiver coach at the Bucks right now. He got me, he got the ball rolling for me. He kind of basically taught me the game, that gave me the mentality to go in with. And I kind of got to see all these other guys play too. But that's when I got there. But my Crystal Ball, they're great recruiters there. I'm not gonna lie, they do their job.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
Crystal
100%.
Ball was recruiting me. The running back coach, that's my guy too. How am I blanking on his name? Um, I
Can't
can't.
remember too.
I'm
I'm trying
blanking
to
on his
help you
name.
out, but I'm like,
I
I
don't
can't
know
remember
why.
either.
I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. But that was my guy. We literally talked like almost every day. Um, and it's crazy to say that, and I don't remember his name. It's been years. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
all good, man.
yeah. So those were the main guys. He was my regional recruiter. So he was talking to me every day. BMAC and Crystal Ball, and those guys kind of really like made me feel like they wanted me to come there, and they kind of let me know that like I'll be playing, and so they didn't let me know like I'll start and stuff like that. But they told me like if I come here, do my stuff, blah blah, do everything that I'm supposed to do. I'll be on the field, get some playing time, and I was cool with going there, and kind of waiting my turn in a way. Got in my freshman year a little bit, made a couple of splash plays, made a little bit of plays. I think I scored like 2 touchdowns, one or
Yeah.
two.
Hmm.
And then I had guys to look at too, that were there before me, like Johnny Johnson, Devin Williams, Jalen Red. I think all those guys were, just great seniors to have in the room, um,
100%.
to look after for sure.
Hell yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Jalen Red there. He was just on the show a couple weeks ago,
No,
actually.
for
So
real? That's
yeah,
what's
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Got to
Man.
link up with Jalen
So
Red. It was cool to talk
shout
to
out
him a little
Jalen
bit.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. Shout out Jalen Red. Um, in your recruitment, did you ever officially like have a moment where you were like, okay, I know for sure I am going to be a Duck? Like, like, was there ever that moment where you were like, okay, for sure, or did you know like right off the bat, I'm gonna be a Duck?
I probably it was kind of right off the bat. I got the offer. Obviously I didn't want to like commit ASAP and just shut everything down. So I enjoyed my recruitment process a little bit. Obviously like hearing from other schools, seeing what they have to say and all that. But just keep my ears open and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it went how it was supposed to. Oregon was the best at their recruiting process with me, and that's why I went there. Yeah.
Love it, man. Love it. Yeah, 100%. I know you were out of California, right? In high school, playing California
Yeah,
high school
yeah. I'm
ball.
from the Bay Area originally, so yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
love it, man. Love it. Yeah, did how close were like USC and UCLA getting you? Were you ever like, talking to them at all or?
Yeah, I mean, I went there. I think I visited USC my sophomore year. It was cool, but I thought that was just a little too close to home, you know.
Sure.
Um, yeah, I
Okay.
thought that was just too close to home for me. So that's the
Yeah.
only reason why I didn't really mess with SC.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, you can't spell suck without
Oh,
USC.
and yeah, and I think they had something. I think they had something going on with like their head coach, and he was about to leave or something like that. He was on the hot seat or something like that. So that's another thing that messed it up.
Mhm.
That happened with a couple of schools that were in my like that ended up in my like top four or whatever. So
I feel it,
yeah,
man. Yeah, USC's
um,
always got some
yeah,
drama going on, man. We don't we don't need to
college football is crazy, man. No doubt.
100%, man. 100%. Let's talk about your freshman year, your development. What's like the biggest adjustment from high school football going to play at Oregon? I know that's kind of like a big jump with athletes, so like talk about that a little bit.
um, if I really think about it, I think to me it's just confidence. And that's what it really all comes down to,
Yeah,
like being a freshman and I think I was like 17 out there, 18,
yeah,
and there's 20, 22-year olds, 23, whatever the case is. I think it's just um you come in obviously not knowing how things are gonna go, playing against technically grown men, and you just can't shy away from it. You just got to go out there and play the game you've always been playing. And for me, I don't think I've ever had like um just I've always played with older people, at least like 2 years up or whatever. So that wasn't really a thing for me. I think the biggest thing though is confidence, for sure. For any stage you go to, that's like the newest thing for sure. And then obviously all the little things trickle in, like got to know your like knowing the playbook and all that good stuff. Obviously helps you, you know, um, play faster and just get on the field more. So yeah, just all that little stuff for sure. But confidence and just knowing your shit for real.
yeah,
That's how you
100%.
last.
Yeah, man, love it. Having that confidence, knowing what you got to do, having a good head on your shoulders. Yeah, man, that's a big thing, man. Part of knowing the playbook as well. That's a big thing going into there. What areas in your game improved the most in like the first two seasons at Oregon? Do you feel like which parts really developed from high school and your first two seasons after your first two seasons were a lot better than you were in high school?
Um, I could probably say my release game. I noticed that like when I got to kind of my second year, my sophomore year, that my release game was pretty well, and I had a pretty nice first step, which I always thought I had, but I just thought I put it together pretty well when I got to Oregon. That was thanks to Junior Adams. Also, he was helping me with my release game and all that. Um, yeah, and yeah, but I think that and it obviously I think I like nothing obviously really changed too much, but it was just me obviously just getting the ball more, getting more opportunities coming my way. Um, I mean, me being able to just show that stuff.
Love it, man. Yeah, 100%. Looking back at your Oregon career, man, what was probably, I know this might be a tough one, but like what was your favorite memory in an Oregon uniform? I know there's lots of good ones, but what would you say stands out to you the best?
Probably in 2023 when we played Texas Tech, we were down there. It was hot as hell. We were down. Like it was a way harder game than we thought it was going to be, and the fans make it a way more just like way more interesting game to just play in. When they're throwing like the tortillas and the batteries and
Yeah.
daring foods. So they have a very fun environment over there, even though there's nothing out there. Like it was, and like just the ride, like you're seeing like the little tumbleweed, whatever the hell that shit is out there in Texas. But like it's fun though. It was fun. I really loved it. I think we all just bonded as a team after we won, and it was just a really fun time for sure.
I love it.
Jeff catching the pick at the end,
Yeah,
going to score,
that was quite
and
a
then
game.
just how we just had to hold it down for real, come back. Kyrie
Yeah.
catching his pick, great Kyrie, and just all the good stuff that happened, man. So yeah, that was a
Facts.
great game for sure, no doubt.
Yeah, that's a great memory. Great team win there.
Yeah.
Is there a specific like touchdown that you really remember from your career that you love, like that you really remember in your career that you made at Oregon?
That's a great question. Let me think. The first one that really pops up in my head is probably the FC touchdown that I scored. When we played SC, I ran a glance route and took it like 80 or something. And then the second one is my sophomore year when we were running. We were like in the goal line or we were in the red area, going towards the entrance we come out of, and then we had like a scramble drill, and I caught a sideline catch on the for a touchdown versus Stanford. That was also one of my favorites for sure.
Love it, man. Yeah, 100%. You played at Ohio State, right? You played a little bit when we
Yeah,
won
I
that game.
did get to experience that too. I got to see CJ Verdell turn into CJ Verdell. I mean, he was already CJ Verdell, but I got the world to really like. I got to see the world really notice who CJ Verdell was. Man, that was awesome. That was a great game for sure.
Yeah,
We went out.
100%. Yeah, I
Mm.
remember that game clearly. Yeah, I actually was able to go to that game and see it, man. That was amazing. 100%.
And then just also seeing the guys on the other side too. I was a freshman. I was like Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba were the
Yeah.
guys over there playing, and then Marvin got a little bit of run in there too. But yeah, that seeing those guys over there playing too versus us, and then our run game and just our defense holding it down, and then we were in the shoe. It was loud as hell out there. Great game though for sure. And then I just remember us all being turned two after we won that game. That was a cool year too for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. That was an awesome day. Playing in big stadiums like that, like the Shoe, playing in the Pac-12 stadiums that you played in. How do kind of compare that to Autzen? And what's it like playing in Autzen Stadium every Saturday?
It's probably one of the best feelings ever. I love the shout culture we have. That's great. Everybody always shows out. I think we have one of the best spring games. And then we have 60, what, like something around like 60,000 or something in there.
Yeah, like
But
normal.
it's really loud. I don't that's
Yeah.
one thing that was weird to me. I didn't really understand that how like I think it's just about obviously like the shape of the stadium or whatever, but
Max.
I just think it's just obviously a credit to the fans. They're out there screaming their hearts out and making it hard for the other guys on the other side. So Austin was definitely one of the best stadiums I've ever played in for sure.
100%, man. Yeah, I think On3 just came out with their top 10 loudest stadiums, and they had Autzen at number 6, which
Oh
is
shit.
it's just pretty good. We got 60,000, and you're going against other stadiums like that. Uh, I gotta ask you this, man. This might be a tough one. Which stadium's louder? Is it Denver Broncos Stadium or Oregon Ducks Stadium? Which one's louder, man?
I think I'm not gonna lie. I think Denver. I think Denver got it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I'm
all
not
right.
gonna lie. I do think Denver got it. You know, the third down just like they just go crazy out there for the defense. When
Yeah.
it's weird. It may be on the same level, but I gotta give it to the Broncos right now for sure. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
the Mile High City, man. That place is hard to play in,
lie.
man.
Turns up for sure. It
Yeah,
turns up.
I love it. I love it, man. Let's talk about, Bo Nix and the Oregon Brotherhood. You and Bo Nix developed one of the best quarterback receiver connections in college football. Now doing it in the NFL as well. Let's just mention that. What made the relationship so successful, you think?
Honestly, I think we were just one. I honestly think it was just kind of just like just we were just on the same page, a God given thing. I'm not gonna lie. Like in college, sometimes like he'd call me to work out, and like I'd go sometimes, but sometimes I wouldn't go. And yeah, like we get a lot of like we were just on the same page all the time. I'm not gonna lie. we're now, don't get it wrong, we work out now a lot and we throw all the time. And every
Yeah,
time he asks me to go throw and I ask him to throw, we go throw. But like, in college, you're doing your own thing, yeah, college is a little different for sure. So yeah, but we obviously we're damn near practicing every day, so we're gonna see each other or something like that. And the times we do, we're talking about stuff, we're making sure we're on the same page. And just for like some reason, when we happened to call the plays and do everything like that, we were just always on the same page. And I think we realized that and kind of just built our connection off of that. And you know, it's just kind of been, it's kind of just like I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of like it's weird like how it happens for sure. Because it kind of, like, I don't know, it's a weird thing to talk about for sure. But
man.
we're
You guys
doing
be
it, man.
killing it, man.
Yeah, man. So it's a blessing and a fun thing for sure. Bo's probably the best quarterback I've played with. Not probably, he is the best quarterback I've ever had in my career. So um,
Love
I
it,
help
man.
him, he helps me most definitely. Yeah.
100%, man. Yeah. Well, what is Bo like, both as like a teammate and a leader?
Mhm.
Like, have you seen him like? I know as a teammate, talk
Yeah.
about that, and then also a leader, the leader wise, because I know you probably seen him grow as a leader as well with your years with him.
So the teammate, he's cool. He's a cool guy. He's like the big brother for all of us in a way. Like he doesn't curse or anything. He's gonna make sure you're doing the right thing all the time. Um, and he's just gonna be there for you. You know, and yeah, so that's the team leader and teammate him. And then like he takes us out to eat. Like we were in college, we'd always go to Elkhorn when it was open. He'd take a few guys out there
Love it.
and go do that. We were in the field. We had took a trip to you know this little ranch place, and took a little offensive retreat, and spent some time out there. So he's doing his thing with his guys. He spends his time with us. Yeah, he's not big headed or anything. He's a good guy for sure. He's great.
Love it, man. Yeah, I love it, man. Let's talk about, your transition from college to NFL a little bit as well. What do you think is the biggest difference? We talked about a little bit from high school to um, college is like confidence. Is it kind of the same thing with college to NFL? Just you just got to rely on that
Yeah, I would
confidence, or
say
is
it's
there?
a little bit of confidence for sure. And then like there's like the saying "no plays off" is like real. Every college team is going to have their weak link, and you know, um, like you'll be able to like kind of you'll take your play off or whatever the case is. But everybody in the NFL is like really good. So um, you just got to be on it. And I would say just obviously confidence, attention to detail. I'm taking no plays off, and then I think those are the like three main things. And then obviously it goes down to opportunity, you know, what's your situation, all that good stuff. But um, yeah, those are the probably like the main things for sure.
Love it, man. What's the biggest lesson since joining the Broncos? Like, is there anything else that you've learned or added on, simply even as a person, not just even a football player since joining the Broncos?
Um, I feel like, let me get that one. Ask me that one more time.
No, yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. So yeah, like, is there any like lessons like that you've learned since like joining the Broncos, like as a football player, like anything else that you've learned added to your game, or any coaches like showing you anything else that you've learned and added on to your game since joining, or even as a person, like joining Denver Broncos, like Troy the person, just growing as a man, you know?
So yeah, I mean, I think as a person, I've kind of learned to know myself a little more, just because one, I'm living by myself,
Mhm.
and like all I have is time on my hands for real. Like after I'm leaving the facility, so I'll just say that I know myself a little more.
Love it.
And because the difference in college is, like after the facility in college or after practice or whatever, guys are hanging out. Like they'll go home, and we're all like right there, so we can just go down the street or whatever, hang out. But up here, you might have somebody that's 34, 30 in their 30s, or late 20s, whatever the case is,
Mhm.
and they got wife, kids, and all that stuff, and they're not hanging out and stuff. It's not like as more as it's brotherhood for sure, but it's not like as
Yeah.
much of a brotherhood. It's more like you're on your own, and you're kind of hang out with. the people you're comfortable with and hanging out with, and that you just connect to with, but at the same time, or just like your rookie class that you came in with, but yeah. And then I say on the football side, it's hard to really say like if you're getting taught things. I would say for the most part, it's more. I've really more learned more about the mental game and just how to watch film the correct way, and not just like watching one corner or one safety or just the back end of the shell. So just really watching film,
Right.
um, and learning how to just really just navigate my way through the NFL, knowing what I need to really learn or like look at, not look at what's like important. Like for example, like we're naming the play calls, like he tells us the play calls, right? So like there's certain words I don't really need to listen to.
Yeah.
So just little
Makes
small
sense.
shit like that. I remember
Mhm.
my mind was racing my rookie year when I was in the huddle, and he was saying all this shit I didn't understand, and I was like, man, but yeah, it's just little small stuff like that. And you eventually learn, and that's what the vets are there for, to help you with that, to let you know that like it's a learning process, man. And to not kill yourself over it, because if you will though, like you'll be on yourself thinking your ass and that you can't do it, knowing that like me, that's what I was kind of doing to myself, like things weren't going my way. I would say when I first got into the NFL and like camp and all that stuff, so it was just different from what I was used to. I was at Oregon, I broke records, I was the number one receiver, and I was getting targets and all that stuff. And obviously, like it was just different when I got to the league in camp and stuff, and I was just going through it a little bit in my own head, and I just kind of had to realize, like, still just regular football, like we're kind of making it too much of what it's not. That stuff is real. So,
Thanks. Yeah, 100%, man. That's a genuine answer. I love it, man. Kind of look at Oregon football this year. Let's kind of look at them a little bit. Oregon's got a bunch of talented wide receivers on this year's
yeah.
team looking to, make it to the NFL and do what you're doing as well. Do you have any advice for those guys?
Um, honestly, I don't really know how the NIL stuff is going on in college, but I'm pretty sure these guys are making some cash and some bread. But the biggest thing I would say is, obviously, one thing with that, make sure you save it up, invest in that stuff. And then two is it's really simple for real. Just keeping the main thing the main thing. Don't be doing anything out there stupid. Um, and they know what being stupid is. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it's really simple, just keep it football, and they'll be straight because they're all good. So it's just a
Mhm.
matter of them actually doing it, and that's what I've realized too. So yeah.
Facts. You got a certain wide receiver that you're like looking forward to watching this year on Oregon? Anything like that?
I like the whole group. I like the whole group. I'm not gonna lie. I went to the spring game, so
Yeah.
I want to see what everybody can go out there and do. I don't really know too much of them except for Demorian. I mean, the Corian,
Mhm.
Demorian. That's crazy. I know the Corian a little bit. I know J Mac a little bit. I don't want to blank on anybody that I do know, and I'm not saying a name, but I know a couple of guys on the team that's been there for a little bit while I was actually still there for a while or getting recruited. I saw him. So yeah, I know the Corian's gonna do his thing out there. I know
Yeah.
J Mac is good for it, and I know they got a couple of new little transfers and stuff. So it'll be
Yeah.
exciting to see who's actually going to go out there and be the number one receiver, and just take lead of that, and everybody else just fall in line and do what they need to do, and play their part. So it's always fun to see for sure.
Yeah, man, don't feel too bad about messing up the name there. When we first started covering,
Yeah, no,
DeCorian,
that's crazy.
bro, when we first started looking at him and, like, seeing, like, when Oregon started getting involved, I put out a video about him and, I called him Dak Orion. Somebody started
I
cooking me in
know.
the comments like, "Bro, what did you just say?" I'm
Yeah,
like, "I'm
don't get
sorry,
them.
bro."
That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, man. I instantly knew exactly what his name was after that. But yeah.
Man.
Um, Facts, yeah, man. They got Evan Stewart coming back too off of injury, so super
Oh
excited for
yeah,
that.
these two. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
See,
Evan Stewart.
tripping.
Yup.
God, he's still gonna go do it too. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, oh
Yup.
my gosh, they got firepower everywhere. And then I like the running back room,
Mhm.
you know. And
Jordan
then I think
Davidson.
yeah, I think the DBs. I like the front seven for sure. I think the
Yeah.
DBs going to their part.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is hold it down a little bit. Front seven, go do their thing. It's over with.
Yeah, man. I like the defensive line. like return all those guys back. We got, last year the two corners were freshmen. Now that they're not freshmen, like a whole nother
Exactly.
year
Yeah.
developing, like that's gonna be crazy. So super excited, man. Super excited. They got Iverson Hooks too at the wide receiver room. He's a big time
Mhm.
wide receiver
Mhm.
from UAB. So he's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
gonna add on to the room,
Mhm.
man. So super excited. But
And I follow all those guys on Instagram, man. So like I said, I was at the spring game with him,
yeah.
and chilling out there with him, talking to him. Got to see them make a couple of plays, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, man. This
They're
that arguably could be possibly the deepest wide receiver room we ever seen. Who knows, man? I mean, you and Tez, it's
Hey,
hard to beat out, but
I'm not gonna lie. We have, I think, 2023 or 2022. I don't know. It was these guys didn't play, but they're great. It was Chris Hudson, Dante Thornton,
yeah,
Isaiah Brevard. Those guys didn't play, but they were great, man. I'm telling you.
yeah,
And then I think 2023 we had me, Tez, Gary Bryant, um, Trayshawn. Trey was raw too, but he just didn't play a lot for real. But he was really good. Um, Shit, and the young guys we had Kyler, Justice still at Oregon or no? He transferred, right? Yeah,
Justin,
Justice was there.
Low.
Yeah, Low, he's gone, huh? He did
Yeah,
transfer, right?
he went to San
Okay.
Diego State. Yeah,
Okay, my guy got it better.
yeah, yeah. He's gonna tear it up though. Yeah, for sure. He played high
Nah,
school
Justice
ball
gonna be
here at
good.
Oregon too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's from.
He's crazy.
Didn't he go to Lake Oswego or something like that?
Yeah, went to
Okay,
Lake.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Joe? Mm.
Yeah, he killed it, man. Well, shoot, man, it was great talking to you, man. I wish I could talk to you longer, man, but I got to get on to the next one, the next interview. We got Sam Nata. He's a 2027
Okay, yeah,
athlete.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
he's a recruit. His dad is Haloti Nata. He played here at Oregon, Hall of Fame
Mhm.
defensive lineman. So we're gonna have him
Yeah,
on next, man. And we have
that's what's
Troy
up.
here, man. I really appreciate you coming on, spending the time, bro. And I wish you the best of luck on your NFL career. Keep tearing it up, man. We'll keep cheering you on, man. Where can Duck fans go follow you? You want to shout out your social medias and stuff like that?
I'm on Instagram at Troy with two Y's and the LUL, and that's pretty much all I'm on, man. So that's what I'm on the most, and yeah, that's
For
it,
sure.
man. I
Yeah,
appreciate you
man.
for having me.
Yeah, 100%, man. If you're not following Troy Franklin, man, I don't know what you're doing, man. You better go hit that follow button.
No doubt. Appreciate you,
100%.
man.
Yeah, 100%, man. Appreciate you, man. Go Ducks, and I'll talk to you next time, man. I'll wrap up with you like probably after I go live. I'll just say thank you, whatnot. But yeah, appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Yeah, that sounds
All right.
good. No doubt. Have a good one, bro.
Yeah, you too, man. See you later.
All right.